Welcome to In the Field. I'm Brad Hare with the University of Georgia College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. I'm here today with Dr. John Beasley, peanut agronomist with the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension. Hey, Dr. Beasley.
Hey, how you doing, Brad?
Thanks for joining me again.
Always glad to be with you.
Hey, I appreciate it. Peanut harvest is in full swing in Georgia right now, and Georgia producers produce about half of the U.S. peanut crop each year in the United States. Been a challenging year, though, Dr. Beasley.
Oh, it has been a very challenging year. We've seen just about everything that can be thrown at a producer in the conditions that he's had to try to grow this crop under. Started out very dry and very hot very quickly, and that heat persisted season long. A lot of very high temperatures that had a negative impact on what we were trying to do. A lot of pest problems. Weeds as always, but insects and diseases. White mold hit us hard and fast and took out a lot of the plants. And then we had just about every insect you can imagine this year, from the foliage feeders like cutworms and beet armyworms, fall armyworms, tobacco bollworms, and then spider mites right here at harvest who come in and just literally suck the juices out of those plants just prior to harvest.
Certainly been a challenging year, but right now we're about halfway through harvest, getting there. Now the growers are getting a chance to take a look at the crop. What we're going to have in Georgia this year as far as peanuts?
Well, we've seen everything from the very best to zero. And I have walked fields that will have zero yield and some in that 100, 200, 300 pound yield potential. In those cases, the poundage that's there won't justify the harvest cost, and you just have to walk away from those. And so there'll be a higher than normal abandonment of acreage. But on the flip side, we've seen some really outstanding yields. We've had growers in that 6,000 plus pound. We've heard reports of a 7,000 pound yield. So those fields that could be irrigated have done quite well. And there's an occasional dryland field that did pretty good. But for the most part, we've seen about as wide a swing in yield potential from 0 to 7,000 that we've seen in any one year.
USDA figures that Georgia may harvest about 475,000 acres this year. They're guessing the average yield at this point may be 3,400 pounds, 3,450. What do you think about that?
I have said all along I thought those figures were a little high, but then again I get called out to look at the bad field, so my mind might be a little skewed on that. But when you consider the fact that they don't account for the abandoned acreage in their average yield assessment, it's only off the harvested acreage, we very likely could hit that 3,400 plus pound yield average again. We've been on a run here lately. We've had some really outstanding average yields across the last few years.
What do you attribute some of that to?
Definitely the new cultivars. It's just amazed all of us how good these cultivars have been for us. Yield potential like we've never seen before. And so there's 4, 5, 6 cultivars out there from UGA, USDA, University of Florida that have performed phenomenally in some very adverse conditions.
Peanut harvest in Georgia. Maybe a year for the have and have-nots, but it will be a harvest I know growers will be happy to get in their wagons and get sold, Dr. Beasley.
Absolutely. We want to finish this one up.
That's right. I appreciate you joining me and telling me about it.
Yes, sir.
Until next time, take care, give thanks, and good luck.